So let me begin by showing you what we are going to do by way of sowing seeds. It's now September, which is near autumn. So the first question you might well ask is, when is the best time to sow seeds? There are two times which are very good. Autumn is good time for tree seeds and also the spring. But I would say autumn is better. Many of the seeds, as I explained earlier, are not ripe yet. For instance, the maple seeds are not ready to collect. The beech tree seeds were not ready to collect. But the ones which are ready are the crab apples and some of the other fruits that I have been using myself. And I will show you how to sow these. As an example of what can be grown from seed, this is an ordinary 3-year-old Scots pine. 3 years from seed, look at it. The stem is thicker than a pencil. That's only 3 years. It was already about 60 centimeters or 2 feet tall. I cut the top off to produce more branching. So that is Scots pine. This is a deodar cedar. Look at it. More than 60 centimeters long, and this is only 3 years old from seed. This is also a 3-year-old Japanese maple. We sell thousands of these, and these are grown from seed. And look at it, again, thicker than a pencil. These Wisteria seedlings are still in the seed tray. I sowed them 2 years ago, so these are 2-year-old plants. I didn't have the time to separate them to pot up into individual pots. So Wisterias are one of the easiest things to sow from seed. So let's begin by showing you what we do. Talking of Wisteria, these are the current seed pods which I plucked from the tree. They're not ripe yet, but these were last year's seeds. And you can see how the seed pods curl up, and you get the seeds in the pod which you can collect and sow. So you can sow these probably in November when the seeds are ripe, or even in the spring. That would work. So what can we sow now? What we can sow now are crabapple. Many years ago, long before I started the nursery in my amateur days, back in 1980, I used to take my children to all these public parks like Kew Gardens, and all the fruit used to fall on the floor. This particular type of crabapple is so tiny, look at it. It's almost the size of a pea. And I told my children that if you pick these fruit, for every fruit you pick, I'll give you 1 pence. And they almost bankrupted me because they picked about 500 of these little seeds. But I didn't lose out on it, because in each of these fruit, let's cut it up. If you come close, you can see. You will find that in each of these fruit, there are several seeds. Look at that. I bet you in each fruit, there are about 5 to 10 seeds. So if you sow these little seeds, you will get a plant. And I used to find that if you sow the seeds now in the autumn, they will germinate by October. It's September now. So by October, they will germinate, and you will get plants by Christmas time about 1 or 2 inch tall. So they are that easy to sow from seed. Over here, I have, just walking around for 5 minutes, I've come across 3 varieties of crabapple. This is another very rare one with small fruit. I think this is Siberian crab. And this is another large crabapple. And let's cut this open. So what you do is you cut the fruit open, like peeling an apple, and you will find that inside there are some lovely seeds. So from this one, if you can come close, you see the seeds are there. Try not to damage the seed by putting the knife through it. We sell these crab apples as fruit. You don't always even have to cut the fruit open. If you just bury the fruit and let the pulp rot, the seeds will automatically germinate by leaving it in the soil. So with those seeds, now I'm showing you different types of medium to root the seedlings. You can either use ordinary sharp sand, put them in there, Sharp sand is very good, and then cover it with a little bit of the sand. Or you can use ordinary garden compost. And this is our bonsai compost. I don't recommend using bonsai compost, mainly because it's very expensive. Why do you want to waste all the akadama and volcanic grit and all? It will germinate. I'm not saying it won't germinate, but it's a waste of money to use good bonsai compost. Ordinary garden compost is fine, or ordinary sharp sand, or builder's sand even. What about sphagnum moss? Sphagnum moss is expensive, but that's also a very good medium. It's nice and light and airy. So all you do is you put the seeds in. I put the crab apples in, but like these, it's like sowing runner bean seeds almost. You just put the seeds in and wait. And after you've done that, with crab apples, I find that if you put it on your kitchen windowsill, somewhere damp, or in the bathroom where it's damp, they will germinate within 4 weeks. And within 2 months, the plants will be about 1 inch high. With the other plants like Japanese maple and wisterias, you have to leave it in the open for the frost to work on it. So when the frost works on it, it is the natural process of stratification. I've explained what stratification is. Stratification is merely nature's way of waking the seeds up from its dormancy. When the seeds have formed in the autumn, the seeds go to sleep. And they go to sleep for a very good reason. They want to preserve the energy for the germination to start in the spring. But if you want to wake up the seeds artificially, rather than wait for the spring, you can freeze it to give it a false winter, and the shock of the freezing will wake the seeds up and it will germinate. And if you leave these trays of or pots of little sand and compost with the seeds in, the freezing and thawing during the winter will wake the seeds up, and in March they will germinate. This applies for these hardy tree seeds like Japanese maple and wisteria. Crabapple I'm showing you separately because this I found that they germinate literally within a month from sowing in September, October. So that's different. I mean, if you take it to the ridiculous length of using an ordinary apple, these are some of the apples from our apple orchard. A lot of people ask, why can't you sow apple seeds from the apple that you can eat? There's no reason why you can't. You certainly can. They all have seeds. And of course, why people don't sow apples from seed is because it takes very long for the plant to become a viable tree to bear fruit. But it will bear fruit, but the fruit may not be exactly the same as the parent tree. So that's why fruit trees are normally grafted so that you get them true to type. But it doesn't mean that you can't sow them from seeds. So if you put these little apple seeds into the soil, they will germinate as well. The other fun things that you may want to try and experiment with are little orange pips. Orange pips are very good. This is a stone from an almond. If you eat almonds and peaches, you can sow the stones of the almond and peaches, and they will also germinate. These funny seeds here, this is a fruit seed called the Loquat. It's a Japanese and Chinese fruit, orange color, soft fleshy fruit, and they invariably grow. No problem germinating those from seed. And that, of course, is the famous avocado. And the stone is so easy to germinate. Just put it into the compost or even in water and it will germinate. So that's very easy. I was showing you these beech nuts, but I think these beech nuts are not ready yet. So let's open some of them. If they're green, then I don't think it's ready. I brought them in just to show you what these beech nuts look like. They're really hard. I find that the squirrels are very fond of using the beech nuts, or they eat the beech nuts, and they usually steal all the nuts, leaving us with hardly any for sowing. Here you are, look at the nut. You come close. These are the beech seeds from Japanese beech trees, and we have in each tree, in each fruit, about 3 seeds. Like so. These are the beech, Japanese white beech seeds. I think they're almost ripe. So I think we could even collect them rather than wait for them to open and fall on the ground. So we can collect it. They look ripe. They look quite firm. What about the Japanese white pine? Now the white pine or any pine cones, you've got to be very careful because once they expand, the seeds will automatically drop out of the cone. So I have seen 1 or 2 seeds in here. So this one has, just show you what they look like. See, most of the seeds are already falling out. Oh, yes. So there's still some seeds in here. And they're very easy to sow. All the pines are ever so easy to germinate from seed. Here, just from that corner, I've got 4 very nice plump seeds. And there are more. So these are what the pine seeds look like. And if you just, again, like I say, not rocket science, just put them in sand or compost, bury it about 1/4 inch into the soil, put a pane of glass or a sheet of plastic or plastic bag, keep it outside for the weather to stratify the seeds, that means thaw it and freeze it, and in March, in early spring, they should germinate. So these are the hardy tree seeds that can be grown from seed. So the only exception, as I said, are the crabapples, which you can sow now, and you will get strong plants from them. So I hope you will get some inspiration from sowing plants from seed when you think that these are only 2 or 3 years old. This is a 2-year-old wisteria. What a lovely sizable plant. So you don't have to wait that long. So growing from seed to make bonsai is quite an easy thing. But for goodness sake, don't spend a lot of money buying the bonsai seed kits. Because if you buy the bonsai seed kits, the seeds will not give you a beautiful bonsai tree. You will only get an ordinary plant which will germinate from those seeds. So have fun and good luck.